It was a hard battle. The victory was crushing, built on the backs of the dead. Hundreds of warriors failed to return home. We shall never forget them. They remain in our hearts. Our memories of the dead shall always be precious. We revisit moments from the past over and over again. The night is falling. Soon there will be a new day, new life and new victories. It is aware of the brevity of time. It has heard the voices of past generations. It keeps the secrets of centuries. Feels the love of its motherland and is grateful for every day. The Castle of Mir, legacy of great history. Welcome to Mir. The magnificent Mir Castle, Belarus's architectural pearl, an outstanding creation of medieval builders. The Castle of Mir was the first private Greek residence to be built in the ancient territory of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Construction began at the beginning of the 16th century. Mir Castle's history is strongly bound up with the history of the Belarusian nation. The castle is located 100 kilometers from Minsk in the town of Mir, Grodno region. The town's history dates back to the 14th century. The listed building is notable for the richness of its decor and a well-balanced blend of Gothic, Renaissance and Baroque elements. The architectural complex of Mir Castle comprises a fortified mansion, earthworks, a picturesque English-landscaped park, an Italian garden, a pond, the chapel tomb of the Świętopolk-Mirski family, a keeper's lodge, and a roadside chapel. The Castle of Mir was originally owned by the Dukes of Volhynichi, then in turn by the Radziwill family, the Wittgensteins, and finally the family of Świętopolk-Mirski. Each family altered the residence in line with their own tastes and ideas. Over the course of its history, Mir Castle has been repeatedly razed to the ground, but each time it has risen from the ashes. In the 16th century, the castle, the former property of the Volhynichi family, was inherited by the Radziwills. For several centuries, the castle was owned by one of the richest and most famous families of Belarus. In the 19th century, the castle gained a new owner, Leo Wittgenstein. In 1891, the castle was purchased by the Sviatopolk-Mirsky family. This family proved to be the last private owner of the castle. In 1939, after the reunion of Eastern and Western Belarus, the magnificent castle became Soviet property. Following the liberation of Belarus, the castle was divided up to provide homes for many local families, effectively becoming a huge house of multiple occupancy. The inhabitants fired their furnaces in the castle and kept animals and hay in the semi-ruined towers. This lasted until 1962. The Castle of Mir, like any other castle, has its legends. The most popular is about an underground tunnel. The legend states that the family of Radziwill, who owned both Mir and Nesvich castles, connected the two castles with a 30-kilometer-long underground passage. They say a 3-horse-drawn carriage could easily be driven inside the tunnel. They also say 12 golden statues of the apostles were hidden in the passage by the Radziwills. Unfortunately, no trace of this tunnel has ever been discovered. This is just one of the myths regarding the Castle of Mir. Steeped in 500 years of history, the castle does not reveal all its secrets, but it will appeal to each of us individually on a personal level. The Castle of Mir has undergone major renovations. After 27 years of work, it has regained its former greatness. Currently, the complex is owned by an independent company. Over 140 people are employed here: scientists, guides, and technical staff. All employees are highly qualified professionals, always eager to assist every guest in getting to know the castle better, be it in the southwestern tower, the northern building, the chapel, or the parks. We provide informative and entertaining tours. There are over 40 museum halls in the castle, interior decoration halls, memorial halls, and exhibition halls, covering an area of 9,000 square meters. All exhibitions are open for visitors daily, all year round. Mir Castle. To know about it is not enough. One should meet it in person and discover its unique charms for oneself. Touch it. Hear its voice, listen to the echoes of history, fall in love with it. A very warm welcome awaits you. We hope to see you soon. We hope to see you soon. What was it like 5 centuries ago? What is to be found in its cellars and dungeons? What animals did the Radziwills hunt? Who was served the favorite dishes of the prince's family? What ancient tomes were kept in the library of the Sviatopolk-Mirsky family? What were the fashion trends in the times of the Ilinichi and the Wittgensteins? The Castle of Mir is ready to lift the veil from the history of Belarus and introduce you to the enigmatic world of the Middle Ages. A Apart from the prime example of fortified architecture comprising the castle, the complex also includes a huge park and the chapel tomb of the Świętopolk-Mirski family, the last owners of the castle. This chapel was built from red bricks and in accordance with plans drawn up by the St. Petersburg architect Robert Marfeld. The front of the chapel is decorated with mosaic icons. As regards the castle itself, we have no records of the names of the first builders, nor the architect, nor do we know when exactly the construction was started. The Piwnica, also known as the wine cellar, is located in the castle's basement. The room is designed in accordance with 17th and 18th century fashions. Various wines brought from Europe were traditionally kept there. Guests were also treated to local drinks. Mead was one of the favorite beverages of castle owners. In the Mir Castle inventory of 1688, there's mention of a white stone kitchen cottage. This is what they used to call the servants' dining hall. The gentry and their servants used to visit the castle for balls, feasts and hunting. On such days, the kitchen cottage was filled with people. While the noblemen dined in the upper halls, their servants enjoyed the cheerful atmosphere of the kitchen cottage, although plain beer was drunk instead of fine wines and salt beef was eaten instead of overseas specialties. The castle's numerous storerooms were used for keeping grain, flour, meat, fish, vegetables, fruit, oil, honey, salt, herbs and other groceries. Mostly, they were kept in the barrels, baskets and clay jars produced by the craftsmen of Mir. The castle hosts unique locally made ceramics. The town of Mir has been a first-class center for pottery making since the 16th century. The housekeeping area. Once this was used for keeping utensils, tablecloths, cutlery and other household devices. Foodstuffs were cut, grains, coffee beans and spices were milled there. All the interiors have now been restored. Historic artifacts shed light on the way storerooms were designed in the 17th and 18th centuries. Currently, there are no restricted areas in the castle. All rooms, from the cellars to the attics, are open for visitors. Genuine artifacts provide a flashback to the Middle Ages. At the very start of its history, the castle was owned by the family Avellinici. There are lots of interesting displays in the hall dedicated to this family. The exhibition includes unique legal documents dealing with real property rights dating back to the 15th and 16th centuries. The next hall is dedicated to the Radziwills' age. For several centuries, the Radziwills were senior officials to the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. The largest hall of the castle is the State Room. It was used for welcoming honored guests. The room is designed in the French manner. Ceilings are decorated with luxurious gilded moldings. Renovation was based upon the archived documents of the 18th century, which show the original design of the hall. The Decor Hall. In this chamber, you will find furniture sets from the Radziwill period. There are also reproductions of costumes belonging to nobles in the time of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. This room is also known as the Portrait Hall, housing, as it did, the Radziwills' portrait gallery. At present, copies of the original portraits line the hall. There is almost no data on the exact original interior design of Mir Castle. The stock books mention furnaces, gilded ceilings and 22 anonymous portraits. It is known that after the war with Sweden, the castle owners commissioned 160 portraits of the Radziwills, images of those family representatives connected with Mir in one way or another. The portraits were painted by many different artists in many different styles, but most of them demonstrate the nobility of the portrait subjects through the wearing of laurel wreaths. According to ancient descriptions, each castle chamber had a furnace or a fireplace. In the Radziwills' days, the lords' rooms had 16 fireplaces and 17 furnaces of various types and colors, round and square and coated with multicolored tiles. Unfortunately, the originals have not survived. Archaeologists have, however, been lucky enough to find small fragments of the original tiles, utensils and glass, as well as the original windows and doors elements. Obviously, these discoveries can hardly be compared to the multitude of treasures originally owned by the castle's proprietors, but they have been enough for modern craftsmen to partially restore some of the artifacts. Svergian earthenware, for example. Svergian earthenware was made in a factory founded by the Radziwills. Currently, there are just a few Svergian manufactured earthenware items in the national museums of Belarus. However, there are new copies in the castle made using the original techniques of the medieval craftsmen. The armor display. The second story of the southwestern tower. In this hall, one can get an overview of the warrior's armor of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Here, next to the armor, one can see the original Mir castle walls. The bricks that are, like the castle itself, 500 years old. Antiquity dwells here side by side with modern innovative systems. An